The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. The campaign is live on Gamefound, and many questions went through my head. What is the difference between the Elder Scrolls and Too Many Bones? Why is there little to no endorsement? Is this going to be another angry rant video? Where are the gameplay videos? And why is Chip Theory Games still relying on poker-sized chips? Stay tuned for the answers. So, the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era went live on Gamefound this week, and its funding raced to the sky in no time. I personally played Skyrim, but I was more in love with Oblivion. I played the game so much, I crashed my computer. So yes, I was and still am looking forward to this game. Is everything peachy? No. So the first question I had when I saw Chip Theory Games' implementation of the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era was, how different is this game compared to Too Many Bones? Well, looking behind the obvious, the mouse mats, the chips and the dice, we can see that our gear logs have been replaced by characters of the Elder Scrolls. Nothing new here. Gear log specific sheets have been replaced by classes. The standard dungeon map has been replaced by a couple of different sized neoprene mats. Personally, I would have liked some more variety in these mats, but from what I've seen, it's more for decorative purposes than the mats having any real significance in the form of terrain. Just like in Too Many Bones, you are still fighting stacks of chips with a monster face on it. As Shut Up and Sit Down put it, before I realized that because I wasn't even reading monster names anymore or looking at the teeny fingernail sized faces, I was just reading their powers. We weren't being attacked by 2 golems and a dragon, we were being attacked by 2 breaks and an engulf. The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era will also suffer from this mechanic. One other thing you might recognize are the counters for the XP/time and the way items and loot card works. Now the stuff that is different. There are 3 double-sided region maps made of PVC. Players will move across this map in the campaign. There is more going on the player mats than there is in Too Many Bones. Still, dice need to be placed on the mats, but instead of just extra abilities, there is a tug of war system on these sheets. Your character has base stats, which you can increase by placing dice from left to right. On the right side, you'll be able to place skills. Investing in skills means you need to place dice from right to left. So at some point, the dice will meet up and you will be placed in a conundrum if you wish to keep investing in the skill or increase your base stats. Players also face fatigue and choices in their combat stance. Will they do magic, melee or ranged attacks? The battle system is also different. There are 3 types of battles a player can face. There's the clash system, which takes place on the game's large clash mat. Using the game's own scaling system, you'll set up a series of randomly drawn enemies and of their treasure and fight them as you work towards completing the encounter objective. Most clashes also have modifying rules, making each clash you enter unique. Your position in the clash is known before placing the characters. But there is no escape from this type of battle. There's also the delve system, which takes place on the game's smaller delve tiles. Delves are procedurally generated through a combination of random draws and the direction of the shuffled delve deck, which has its own unique composition and rule sets for each province you're in. To complete a delve, you must journey through its mysterious corridors and reveal new tiles until you've explored every available avenue to you, fighting enemies along the way. These enemies are revealed with each additional tile you explore. While delves are much harder to complete than clashes, you can also flee a delve if things get too tough. The last system is the dungeon system, which takes place on a massive pre-made dungeon map. This system plays like a fusion of the previous 2. There is 1 unique dungeon in each province, and you will usually enter it while on a specific quest, which will give you unique instructions for your objectives while you're inside. Depending on your quest, you may face special quest enemies, finding unusual treasure, or encounter the dungeon in a unique state of unrest. Each time you enter the dungeon again, you will find its familiar confines transformed by the dictates of that story in which you will find yourself. Of course, the biggest change is an open door. You will no longer just pick a scenario. You are now playing a campaign game. I can also see that they have implemented the guild system in this game. But how that works, I'm not sure. Though I am happy to see it. So to come back to my question, how different is this game? Well, in my opinion, the back end of the game feels exactly the same as Too Many Bones. Only a part of the combat is different, and there are some minor tweaks here and there. So this must be going to be an angry rant, right? Well, I'm not so sure yet. I have to say that I feel genuinely interested in this game, though that is my Elder Scrolls heart speaking. I do have concerns about the lack of gameplay video. I tried to watch the stream when the campaign went live, but it was far too long and it just wasn't that engaging to watch. I know Chip Theory Games makes poker chips games. And it's my mistake for hoping they might try and make something completely different this time. This is a big IP after all. A big IP? You can see that in the price. Now to be fair, Chip Theory Games is never cheap. But I sure did have to look twice if $195 wasn't an all-in pledge. No sir, it's just the base game. Now I am going to rent on the expansion they've already rolled out. 45 bucks. What does that give me? 35 cards, 6 sheets, 16 dice, 8 chips and 4 mini chips, plus a gazetteer, whatever that may be. Sure, I know they will still need to write a story for the expansion, but component-wise, it's a big bag of air. So the big question is, should you and I get it? Well, in my opinion, you need to ask yourself the next questions. Do I own Too Many Bones? Yes? Are you a hardcore fan of the Elder Scrolls? Yes. Do you have money to burn? Yes. Then you might consider it. If you don't own Too Many Bones and you have money that burns a hole in your pocket, I would suggest backing this game. It might be a very good experience. So I don't own Too Many Bones. Frank did back the last Too Many Bones campaign. Now Frank's shelves aren't mine, so I'm still undecided. But the price of the game does steer me away from backing it. Now let me know, did I miss something? Should or should I not back the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era? Did you back it and why? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.